been in retail for like 25 years. I was a hairstylist for 30 years. And for about 36 years, I've been doing the horse boarding, taking care of horses. And I have arthritis in my hands, in my feet, in my spine, neck. And that's been going on for probably 30 years, to where the hands are getting crippled. And in 92, I got ran over by a horse, and I got a subdural hematoma to the brain and a brain bleed. I actually ran over. The horse turned to run from another horse and didn't see me and just ran over me. And it was basically, I don't think a hoof hit my head. It was, according to the neurologist, it was a brain impact, kind of like shaken baby syndrome, you know, or boxers get. So my brain bounced, and it was pretty severe that I had to bleed. First, they thought I had an ear infection. No, that was a brain bleed. And there was a lot of things that happened after that. I had a little speech problem because of the, you know, and severe pains in the head. Then again in 2016, I kind of blew some discs in my neck from lifting a lot of hay, bales of hay, C3, 4, and 5, and it pinched a nerve off. That gave me like a kind of like you would call sciatica, but it went straight to the head, and that was for months. And I still would have some repercussions from it. I would get blurred vision and pressure in the eyes, head. And it's calmed down some, but it still acts up to where my neck and head really bother me. I started using the LifeWave patches November 8th, this past November, the X39s. And about this 2 weeks in, I was just having constant pain in the back of my head. And it's like, why am I getting this? It was just ungodly, really, really bothering me. And now it has subsided. And from talking with Beamy, that there's what do you call
it's called retracing.
Retracing. So it's like apparently the nerves were retracing what had been going on, and now it's gone. That pain's gone.
And so how long that retracing was happening? For a couple of weeks, right?
Yes, we're right. Yeah, like 2 weeks. Yeah.
And you didn't know what was going on. You couldn't understand the pain.
No. Yeah, I had not heard of retracing. You know, I didn't know about that, and that's why I was figuring, why am I getting these pains back again? This pressure that's back in this whole occipital area, and
so now that's completely gone.
It's gone. Yeah.
Okay.
And I started the X49 in December. You know, I was on the X39 a month, and then I started the X49. So I'm doing both of those, and I have so much more energy. My hands, I would wake up in the morning and couldn't make a fist because they were so stiff. And now I wake up in the morning, I'm not having the stiffness.
And you had had that for how long?
Oh my God. Oh, a good 20 years or so. Yeah. Number one, arthritis, and then holding a manure pick in my hand all day, you know, shoveling. So it's much better.
Okay. And then what about the driving that you went?
Oh, yeah, I had to go see my granddaughter's first Christmas play, and it was a 52-mile drive to get to the little school where she was going to be. And I drove there real quick after work, like at 4:30, get there at 5:30, watch the play, half an hour, leave, drive back. And I never got sleepy on the road. I'm one of these people, for the last 10 years, I drive, I'm not on there long, and I can hardly stay awake when I'm driving. I'll have to have food with me to eat to keep awake. And I'm like, I can't believe it. I never got tired once.
That's amazing. And you were driving 40, 50 miles at night.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Well, on November 27th, I was working in the barn and I was lifting some feed sacks and putting them in this feed box I have, and it started to slip and I wanted to make sure it was going in straight. Well, the feed box is like an old freezer, chest freezer, and my arm slid down the side of this freezer going in and it peeled back and cut my skin, as you can see.
And that's
And
pretty gross. Your skin is just dangling off your arm, right?
yeah, yeah. It went down deep and just peeled all that back. And it was like, oh my God. So I called a friend of mine that's a nurse and I said, I need you in the morning. I hope you're coming because I got an injury. And I said, I need you to cut this skin off. Well, and she got here and she says, we're not cutting that off. I cleaned it up really good, which was pretty painful to clean up. She says, you're leaving that down because that acts as like a Band-Aid. And everybody said that's seen this, they said, well, that skin's just going to fall off. It'll die and come off. Well, I took my X39 patches that I had used, and instead of just throwing them away, I was taking the used patches and laying them all around the outside of the bandaging that I had. And then pretty soon after I felt that it was good, I actually would lay the patch on the wound. And within 2 weeks, as you'll end up seeing, that it was healing. There you go. That was probably a week later. And then
and how is your healing normally so that people understand?
Yeah, I don't heal real fast at all. I mean, wounds take a long time, and you can see like there's a patch off to the side. And I was pretty amazed at how it was doing. I'm like, I can't believe this, because even a cat scratch will stay on me for weeks and be sore. And you can see the flap actually did adhere except for one little tiny spot at the front, and it all regenerated right back on.
And this is within 2 weeks.
That's 2 weeks right there.
So that's pretty phenomenal.
It for me, yes. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Okay.
Yes, I feel as though, yes. I mean, when you suffered with it for so long and then all of a sudden you're feeling good, it's like, oh, yes.